What is up, everybody? It's your boy, Andrew Esquire, Legal Mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. Talking Johnny Somali today, bright and early in the morning. It is 9 a.m. over here in Bangkok. I indeed did stay up and pull an all-nighter for you guys because I love you. I love you all. I appreciate you all. Also, special shout out. Also, real quick, I forgot to put it in my last video, but to Billy Aoki for giving me some good details on bricks and minifigs, which has been what I've been covering for a lot of my other recent videos, and that's been really good popping off. So appreciate all the support. Billy, thank you for sending me over articles. Everybody else has sent me stuff over. Danielle, my hardworking mod, everybody who helps out. All you guys are great. I couldn't do everything I do without all of you guys. So I just want to say thank you, because I always make sure to say thank you to everybody who helps me out, because I remember that and I appreciate that. And I couldn't do it without all the help of literally everybody out there. So I do appreciate each and every single one of you, genuinely. Mickey D 666 for 10 legal mindset memberships. Thank you so much for that. USNC Frigate Grafton 151 member for 2 months says, hey, legal, hope you're doing good. Here from Oz, crikey. I'm actually doing great. I'm having a fantastic time. It's been a heck of a news cycle, a lot to cover. A little bit stressful, a lot of working parts. I've been also doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff. Kind of doing stuff on my own, which has been a little bit more work on my side in terms of getting stuff done for myself. That's all, kind of coming to fruition. So putting a lot of more work into the channel. Hopefully you guys see that with increased, editing quality. I'm focusing on, titles, thumbnails, descriptions, anything to improve the videos and to refine them and become better. I will try to do even better in the future for all of you, because you deserve it. Man and Chan, a member for 27 months. Appreciate you very much. Kaiju Otaku. I love Kaiju and also an Otaku. That's true. 54 for 5 says, taking a break from building Warhammer minis to watch Suffer Somali Suffer. Hey, listen, it's always fun to build Warhammer minis. I was reading, what was I reading? I was reading some lore the other day. I get lost sometimes reading the just like random Warhammer lore. It's just always so fun and just like sucks you in. I believe, what was it? Was it about the orcs? Anyways, there's a lot of Warhammer stuff out there. But anyways, it's all good stuff. Appreciate that. And Somali is indeed suffering in that prison uniform. Garrett Griffin 461 member for 11 months says, Andrew, thanks for all the great updates. My pleasure. I hope you guys enjoy them. I try to keep them brief, educational, entertaining, objective. I've got some stuff coming up on different topics, of course. And of course, Somali is a little bit deviating from where things are going. We're going to get live updates here in just a second from Gabe of the SCT, who's there in person giving us live updates. So these are live from the courtroom in Seoul. So I'll get a couple here. And then we'll go. Devil's Advocate says, so you're here to tell us Johnny's getting in the chair. I mean, he's sitting in a chair. That is true. Aaron Tolan, member for 16 months, appreciate you. And Omega Robot 49 says, brick by brick, thanks for being a legal voice of reason in this crazy world. Keep up the great work. Yeah, my pleasure. I try to be objective. I try to give both sides. I mean, in the bricks and minifigs case, I give Ben a little bit of flack because he's done some stuff wrong, and I give the corporate side a little bit of flack because as a corporate attorney, I see how they're messing up too. So both sides are making mistakes. In many cases, many people can make a mistake. I make mistakes. Sometimes I mess things up. That's very normal. And you just try to, calmly explain the objective reality, the objective law, and work from there. And of course, we all have our personal opinions. Sometimes we can have strong opinions, but that's, part of having a healthy discourse, right? It's just talking about things, even if we're really passionate about it, even if we disagree passionately, it's cool. And that's what I love about the law is you can have a strong disagreement. I can say, absolutely, I think the law should have gone this other way, but do you respect the judge, you respect the court, you respect the way it turns out. That's why I love the law. Kieran says he should be in prison for 3 years and then on the international SO list for 10. There's a lot of stuff that he should be on. I'm not going to lie. But we're going to see how it turns out here. And of course, what I want is for, of course, the sentence to be extended. It may or may not go that way. That's up to the judges in Korea. And ultimately, I will respect what they ultimately come up with because it's Korean law. It's Korea's for Koreans, right? They're making the law, not me. I don't get to tell them how it goes, but I have my opinion, right? And that's the way the law works. Mark G says, just a fellow Florida man in BKK, warm welcome, Cafe Soy 33, Sukhumvit rules. Oh, cool. Maybe I'll check that out. That sounds good. Oh, I'm gonna write that one down in my hold on, I'll put it in my phone. I'll put that in my super secret phone. I got two phones, of course, which makes me look sketchy, but you just gotta sometimes you just gotta handle your business. Okay, let's put that down. Okay. I'll check that out. I always looking for good cafes. Let's see. Does Johnny have to wear handcuffs, leg chains, a face mask, or straitjacket in court? No, he does not have to do any of those things. No. Ro Campbell Blue says, Cabbage Gang, let's go. Good morning, Mr. Lawyer Man. Hope everything's well. It's cabbage time. Doing absolutely fantastic. I cannot be better today. I feel fantastic. Garrett Griff said, live from New York. I mean, it's South Korea. Yeah, Wednesday night. All right, we're going to have two more and we're going to go. Darth Toyland says, Darth Toyland raps money and clout till the walls fall down the Johnny Somali way. A reminder that the world that he causes nonstop harassment just for fame and cash. But what about that money and clout now? Empty hype exposed. You could do that rapping better and you put the tracks better together than me. So you go ahead and knock that out. Or the Knox Girl, he said, CoffeeZilla just released a video on BAM. Yeah, cool. So it's good. The more people cover stuff, the better, especially big issues when things come up. I love hearing different opinions. I think it's great. I think having different perspectives is great. And that's fantastic. I think, a creator ecosystem where we have a lot of people talking about stuff, giving their different perspectives is amazing. So yeah, maybe I'll check it out. Broxy for 10 says, I'm trying to imagine RKI's face if he finds out his attempt at appealing only serves to double his current time. Well, we'll see what he knows and doesn't know. Okay, let me get to this because I don't want to get behind here where we've got 2,000 people and we're already into this. So let's start out here with the appeal of the trial. So starting out right now, we have what's going to be in summary, the prosecution, the defense, they're going to give their arguments today for his appeal. Opening arguments at 10:45, and I'm just going to read you the notes as I have them here. At 10:45, opening arguments for other cases were going on. There are three judges. The chief judge sitting in the middle is a middle-aged man. The other two are a younger male and a female. So late 30s, early 40s. So two men, woman, middle-aged, younger, male and female. The cases are all scheduled as part of a block, meaning Ramsey's case will be called somewhere between 11 and 11:10. There's 5 cases scheduled. So there were Korean reporters entering the room. There were lawyers, unnamed defendants entering. There were 2 policemen accompanying prisoners and detainees as they're brought in the courtroom, one in the front and one in behind. They both sit near the entry gate to the court during the hearing. 11:14, Ramsey Khalid Ismail is called. He is wearing a black suit and a white button-up shirt. There is a small yellow tag on his jacket. So I guess they're giving him for this, the suit and the button-up. I guess he was allowed into that. The defendant has a right to remain silent and share facts relevant to his defense. He states his date of birth. He cannot remember his passport number. Well, no, I mean, I understand that. I can't remember mine sometimes. Claims to be a student. Asks his current residence address. He gives Hank's address. So once again, he's saying he's a student. Now, maybe he's taking an online class. Maybe I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he's doing some online class. It's kind of easy to enroll online. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt there. He gives his current address. He says Hank's address. Maybe that's his last known address there. Nationality, U.S. Okay. The defendant is required to report to the court any change of address. You appealed the first sentence, correct? He says yes. Are you aware the prosecutor has also appealed? He says yes. According to the prosecution, the defendant committed the crime in multiple counts for profit and the victims were not compensated. The prosecution claims unfair sentence. The defense claims unfair. The victims refused to negotiate a settlement, so the prosecution requests that the defendant's appeal be dismissed and that he be sentenced as requested in the first trial. So essentially, the prosecution there is saying, in not so many words, reading through what is stated, the prosecution is saying, we want our sentence, right? They asked for 3 years. They didn't get that, right? They got 6 months. So they are asking for 3. They're coming back asking for 3 again. So they're not shooting above that, etc. They're just going for what they asked for. So the prosecution is coming back and saying, you're not giving us what we asked for. We want that. Okay, the defendant gets to speak here. The defendant admits all charges and shows remorse. The nature of, I'm laughing, it shows remorse. The nature of characteristics of the crime were not significant. Since the victims of the deepfake did not suffer damage, the sentence should be lower. Furthermore, the defendant suffers from bipolar disorder and has been able to get medication. The defendant also claims that he did not make significant financial gains from his crimes and has pledged never to commit these crimes again on release. Johnny's statement says, I just want to sincerely apologize to the court, to the victims, and for disrespecting Korea. I regret my actions and vow to never behave this way. And then the court says it's going to come back on... the court said it's going to come back on June the 25th, if that's accurate. So just looking at that all together there today. So a lot of information there coming in. I know it's very rapid. Apparently Johnny winked and smiled at our boy in the on the outside. So that's actually pretty interesting there, to give him a little wink and a smile. That's kind of cute. Okay, cool. So yeah, there you have it. You've got essentially the defense saying he shows remorse. Now Johnny Somali, fun fact, has actually submitted more letters of reflection, whether or not those are genuine or not. Now, he may have been told by his lawyer, and I think most likely in his case, he's probably told by his lawyer to start submitting those letters of reflection, right? I think I think those letters of reflection, essentially, having put those out later, were something that he heard he had to do and heard were important. And he saw in like Jungmann's case, for example, which is another of the Korean cases where they submitted multiple letters of reflection. He saw maybe he had to do that. So now he's trying to come back and do that. It's also a kind of a change on his part to say he's admitting all charges, which is a little bit different. So now he's gone from essentially he's going from trying to fight the charges on principle and saying, hey, look, the law is wrong, the deepfake law is wrong, which is the angle he had originally, which is very interesting, actually, when he was trying to fight it that way. Now he's going this way. He's also trying to, use BPD, bipolar disorder, which I am very familiar with, to try to get out of things, saying he's unable to get medication. Well, he should, of course, be able to get medication in prison, right? So if you've got any sort of disorder or whatever, you should be able to get that in prison. That doesn't have to do with the duration of your term, right? So it wouldn't get you off earlier, right? So if you're suffering from any sort of illness, physical, mental, whatever, you're a prisoner, you should be able to get medication. So that's something they should clear up if it truly is an issue, right? They should actually clear it up if he's been diagnosed, of course, by a doctor, right? Not self-diagnosed, right? Because that's, of course, a big thing. It's like self-diagnosed versus going to a doctor and actually getting a diagnosis. Big difference. So Johnny's statement, I want to sincerely apologize to the court, to the victims, and for disrespecting Korea. I regret my actions and vow to never behave this way again. Once again, when you read that statement, I wish I could believe this, but with Somali and his history and what happened in Japan, it's very difficult to believe that, right? It's very difficult for us to believe that after he's been in jail, he's been behind bars for just a month, that's been enough for him to try to, get out and get free. I don't think he's done enough genuine reflection. And I think more time in there is indeed merited for him to reflect upon his actions, behind bars. And I think some time, can actually be helpful once again when that's extended out over a longer period of time. But anyways, let's get to some of these comments, because I'm sure you guys have a lot of comments here, and I appreciate all of them. Groupie63 says, I'm definitely rooting for the extended sentence for all the horrible things he's done, not only in South Korea, but around the world. Yeah, I mean, in Israel, in Japan, in, all over places, in a bunch of places in the world, Thailand, he was in Colombia before. There's a lot of behavior that, even if it wasn't criminal, it was very bad. And he knew what he was doing, and he knew he was doing it intentionally for, various reasons, and often listening to the very worst people. The behavior was definitely bad. Billy Oki, what's up? Oh, good to see you, and thank you for all the info. said Korea for Koreans, and maybe for Andrew too. I love Korea. I love Korea, and I love visiting Korea. I cannot wait to get back there. I'm hoping to get back there. I got to get some things cleared up, but once I solve some issues, I will be probably back in Korea either in June or July. I hope very soon. Maybe August. August would be very special too. August is a good month. Okay. Armando Limon says, do you think Johnny likes scrubbing the toilets? I think Johnny is definitely not as comfortable. Johnny is definitely pretending he's more comfortable in jail than he really is, right? Nobody likes jail. Jail's not fun. Jail's not, you can pretend it is. He's pretending it's summer camp. It's not fun. It's never easy. Now he was making a comparison to the Japanese jails and saying, in some ways it's better than Japanese jail. And that's kind of a comparative thing. And perhaps it is, by certain metrics. So perhaps that's an accurate description there. Tankrat6 said, gifted 50. Thank you. 50 legal mindset memberships. Thank you so much. Yes. Appreciate that. By the way, if you received a free gift membership, make sure to say thank you, because appreciation always is there. Plus, we'll do our member streams soon. I got to get back to doing member streams. I miss those, talking about some anime, talking about some fun stuff. Maybe we'll talk about Warhammer. I know you got some Warhammer geeks out there. But yeah, whatever you guys want to talk about on member streams are kind of AMA. People, you get to ask me anything, no matter what. And they're free form. That and my locals, you guys can pretty much have inside access to, asking me really on any topic, even going off topic and asking stuff that normally wouldn't be part of a show. James Gallipoo says, put his sorry butt to work. Let him learn the working people, how he has wronged them. Well, that's why the joke, talking about labor prison, which was not a joke, although he's in the detention center now where there is no labor, right? Theoretically, if he was to get sentenced and be sent along, right, he might be sent to the labor prison. Sometimes labor can be good to put you on the right track, to get you thinking about the right things, right? A little bit of work helps. Dark Striler for 100 Argentina says, hello, LM. Tomorrow the World Cup is going to start, and I'm going to tell you that our passion will hit Kansas and Dallas, which to a normal person, insanity. I just want to give you a heads up. Okay, thank you. Okay, I know that is actually kind of crazy. And that is going to be very crazy. I just remember, I grew up in Miami, so I grew up with, all the like Latin fights. I mean, I had a best friend, that was Brazilian and his girlfriend was Argentinian. So that was like World War III right there. Anytime the World Cup rolled around. So World Cup to me is like hiding from the throne sandals and, aguardiente, it's like, it's crazy to me, but I do enjoy it. And I especially enjoy, watching with friends, that's always the best scenario. Hendrick says Johnny's going to pull a surprise Pikachu face. Really hope he doesn't win the appeal, because it'll make South Korea look soft. I know, and South Korea doesn't want to look weak right now. And their justice system, it was coming out looking like a joke and looking like they're not even following their own rules. But of course, once again, we respect the judge, and we'll see. Now there's a panel. Now there's 3. So if 3 judges decide, well, then that's what they decide. But just understand, South Korea, your PR is you look soft. Right. And if that's the way you want to look, that's fine. You're making a choice to be soft, right? To be soft on crime and to let people do this and say, nuisance streamers, you can come in and disrespect our comfort. You can do whatever you want to do, right? You can twerk on our comfort woman statues. You can, insult people in public. You can, go into it, throw ramen everywhere. You can harass people on the street, right? You can do whatever you want, and that's totally okay. And, obstruct business, whatever, right? All that stuff is all okay. Open season, guys. Come on in and harass people, because that's what Johnny Somali essentially said. And he said it very vocally multiple times. So if they're willing to say, yeah, you know what, we really don't care, that's on them. If they want to look soft, right? On them. Devil's Advocate says, Johnny's a student of the School of Hard Knocks. Mark said, legal mindset, jury verdict, Johnny Quill at FAFO. We'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens here. Matt Apple's W is a big fan of your videos. I really enjoy the Johnny Somali series. It's fun seeing him get destroyed. It's been fun seeing him get justice. I'm happy he served 1 day in jail. I've already got my, my W is that he went behind bars for a day, right? He's saying, I'm never going to go out of that. You went behind for a day. He's been behind. So that W has already happened. In my opinion, should he be there longer? Yes. Ultimately, what the judge decides here is up to the judge, right? So anyway, this comes out. We did our best on this, covering this, bringing you this side, giving you the facts, presenting all the information. And, we've made our argument for this, and it's up to the Korean justice system to decide what they want to do here. Proxy 4818 for 20 says, to be honest, I don't believe the bipolar claim or the student one. He doesn't come off as someone who truly cares to study anything. Well, once again, he may be saying that because he signed up for something quick online or whatever else. I mean, it's easy to claim to be a student. I mean, you can quickly sign up for a class if you really wanted to, or go to some, scam online university or whatever, and then say, oh, I'm a student, right? Come on. I mean, you could fake that. Bipolar claim, I mean, look, that's serious, obviously, but you want to go see a doctor for that. Very smart. If you're having any of those issues, I could tell you, you're going to want to go in and get that claim. So he's going to have to get a doctor to sign off on that to be able to get him that medication. And if once again, if it's real, if a doctor signs off on him, then give him his medication, right? If it's real and a doctor signed off on it. Sitar Luchai for 5. Appreciate that. Thank you. Yes. Blake C137 for 999 says, only TNB soft RKI is going to have to find in prison is his pillow. El Eagle, disciple of Wa Takadachi, says RKI can get more jail time for content like a true CC. Well, I mean, I think the thing for him, and we see this in his prison letters, looking at his psychology, is he is addicted to his public image, and what people are saying about him. And I'm very conscious of that. I'm aware of that. That's why I try to stick to covering, what happens in these big legal updates, and not all the time, because he's not constantly relevant. And there's a bunch of other things to cover. But in this case, he is very fixated on his public image and what he looks like. All right, guys, bipolar is holding to actual bipolar. That's true. Nathan K. Simpson says medication for mental health issues like bipolar disorder is heavily regulated here in South Korea. It could be already approved. Oh, interesting. Well, obviously, that's a very unique issue, right? So maybe there's an alternative. I'm not a doctor, right? And I don't pretend to be one. On Legal Mindset does not pretend to be a doctor here. This is not medical advice, okay? Not medical advice. Check the disclaimers, not medical advice. But, maybe there's an alternative. Usually there's some sort of alternative for whatever it is, right? Or there's some drugs that cover a broad spectrum of things, right? That can cover, for example, depression, and also cover bipolar disorder, right? So that might be something that he might look into or get, or there might be some sort of alternative they can prescribe him. So yeah, interesting. Bipolars, Sir Sing is complete insanity. Too late for that. Sir Guard Pebble Nettle Soup said, member for 19 months, Arnica could tell me the sky is blue and I'd have to double check that. Well, that's right. That's why I'm saying verify everything this kid says. We're not just trusting what he says. I'm not saying, okay, take it at face value. This is my thing, especially with people that are known to lie, people that are known to deceive. When you find out that somebody is a known liar or a deceiver, you now have to check and verify. And that just is what it is. You've got to check them. You can't just take them at face value and just keep on believing everything they say. And a lot of what really nice people, a lot of empaths, a lot of people that are very caring and compassionate get preyed upon by people like this that, just take advantage of them and just drain them, and then essentially, discard them. So people can feel bad for Johnny Somali, give him money, spend money on him or whatever else, or feel bad for anybody. And those people can milk you dry and then kind of just walk off. And you got to guard, you got to check, verify, make new systems. That's just part of the process. And so for here, in terms of this, when he's telling me that he's got this disorder and I say, okay, go to a doctor, like that's a basic verification. That's not asking something unreasonable. Original For 5 says, will time behind bars send a signal to other nations to keep an eye out for giant small shenanigans? I think so too. I definitely think so. I think other nations thinking about the nuisance streamer problem need to say, hey, a little bit of time behind bars might be good for these nuisance streamers. I know you just wanted to deport them and fine them, and I know it's one, but a little bit of time doesn't hurt. A little bit of jail time can sometimes be beneficial, and maybe for some of them, it scares them straight. They don't act up again, right? They've done a little bit of time and they're good. And the thing with Somali, which changes his scenario a little bit, is he already did time in Japan and they let him off relatively light. So Japan did give him the slap on the wrist. They did give him some time, and that did not correct his behavior. So that's why we say that a longer time is merited. It doesn't just come out of me saying, I have personal animus for him. It's me saying, look, Japan gave him time behind bars. It was not enough. Are you going to, or South Korea, are you really going to give him less time than Japan? Are we going to be serious right now? Like South Korea, are we going to do this? Do we have to go there, South Korea? Right? Are we going to play into that? Are we going to play that game? Right? You going to let Japan beat you? Come on now. Like, you can do better than Japan, right? We're competitive here, right? Welcome to Asia. Luna Shadow Moon. RKI is truly learning FAFO. That's absolutely right. Albert Ava, what's up, Ava? Good to see you. Love my elves. What's up? Almost 2 years now. Let's keep going. Yeah, based elves for the win. Citra Luchai for 100 time bot. Good morning. I'll catch up with you later. Been very busy. We're saying cool. Well, good. And Kopun Cup for the Nung Roy there. Appreciate that. I need a coffee. I'll need a coffee very soon to do the fast facts on this. Dark Striler said, oh my God, there's so many cabbages. Editor, you know what to do. I know. Hold on.
Emotional cabbage.
I got you. Ilder for 5 says, we the Plutonians will take Johnny for free. Well, the Jovians are making a good move. So you got to watch out for those lizard people. They're making a move on Johnny. Euro Clegane, member for 21 months, says, will RKI be at the labor prison before the plushie show? The plushies should be there. The plushies are coming, guys. The plushies are indeed coming. Battle 66674 for 5 says, why wouldn't the prosecution argue harder or present more facts about Somali? Seem kind of weak. I know, it's kind of weird, right? I mean, it is really kind of weird why the prosecution wouldn't argue or present more facts. I do think they needed a little bit more here. But maybe once again, this is the first cut. So I'm reading you kind of the first cut of what happened. So I'm going to speak a little bit more about this and kind of get to maybe some of the context there. But I think the prosecution's case, they're pretty direct. But yeah, they didn't give a long reasoning, right? They said, once again, let's go back to the reasoning for the prosecution. The defendant committed the crime in multiple counts. I mean, there were multiple counts. It was done for profit and the victims were not compensated, right? So those are all very fair points and they're all true and they're all factual, right? So those are all things that would justify going with a longer sentence that would go with the sentencing guidelines in Korea. So the prosecution is giving a very no-nonsense, straight to the point rationale there to go with their recommended sentence, right? Which is longer. Case Wolf says, RK pleading mental illness. Well, if honestly believe that I got, that's your writing, not mine. If honestly believe that I got some bottom land to sell, just don't ask what it's on the bottom of. I don't know, the swamp, the cabbage swamp. But appreciate that. Thank you so much. We'll give you a little bit of
Emotional damage.
Okay, let's see here. Casewell says, also since covered Easton stuff, covering iDubbbz. Yeah, I'll get to all the Easton stuff. Denim's getting her little W, twerking in her squirrel girl suit over, or Supergirl suit over defeated Ethan Klein in his Lex Luthor outfit, right? Just doing her little victory dance. We'll get to all the denim stuff later. I'll do a whole video on that. Don't you worry. But indeed, she gets her win. And I'll say real quick about that, just a little quick comment here, a little blurb, is that in fair use cases, right? And this is the awesome thing about the law. The thing I love about the law actually is that you can have 10 different fair use cases and they all come out differently. different judge. It can even be similar fact pattern, etc. They can all come out differently. You really can't tell 100% with a fair use case. And anyone who is listening to my channel and actually paying attention to the whole video and watching everything would have seen that's the analysis, right? The analysis is, hey, look, any fair use case can come out one way or another. Now, I can have my personal opinion, and I certainly did have my personal opinion, and I certainly do disagree. But that said, you got to respect the judge's decision. A judge makes a decision, you respect the decision. Dark Striler gifted 10 legal mindset memberships. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Yes. Kwang Lee says, how did RKI get an appeal hearing so quick? They are moving it forward. And I'm going to have some discussions about that. It does seem to be moving forward a little bit faster than anticipated, which is interesting. Maybe they want to get one way or another to how this rules out. Maybe they don't want that time to run over. Maybe they know that, hey, maybe because we publicized, because we got this information out there about the appeal potentially pushing it over, the prosecution wanted to move this up. They wanted to make it seem like they weren't using a procedural trick to extend it. Maybe, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what's happening there? Maybe they want to try to end it quickly. Who knows? Like, they could have there'll be a whole lot of reasoning, right? For moving it. So we're gonna do a little bit of digging on that one, but it does seem like it is moving a little bit faster than normal. Feels like legal season with all the constant news. I know it's been great. Akron95, member for 12 months, so celebrating a year. Thanks for the entertainment. I appreciate that. McSkill says the longer Ramsey stays behind bars, the safer Moodang is. Moodang's fine. Moodang is absolutely fine. Moodang is actually chilling over here. Moodang's chilling right over here. Moodang is doing just fine. Moodang's fine. Okay. It's like Johnny thinks he's in a fictional game show. What's my crime? Referenced in 101 Dalmatian movie. Okay, cool. EE Caroline, member, awesome. King Bob 1421, member for 5. Thank you. Oh my God, it's Kami 08, member for 2. So we'll be covering the Dunn's court case. I think I've covered it, right? So I mean, I'll be going back to talk about the ruling, right? So yeah, I'll be talking about that again for sure. Leroy Lemon says, in regards to Klein versus Denims, what do you think about the judge apparently not applying Warhol to the way the Supreme Court intended? Well, there's a lot with, I'm not doing so I'm not letting this devolve into a Denims thing, but there's a lot of problems, especially with the reasoning they use, because there's two different judges, and the two different judges use different reasoning. They apply different reasoning. We're not going into a deep dive on this. This is a Somali stream, not a Denim stream, but we will get into that in a future video. So we'll get into that analysis, but we're not devolving right there. But I do appreciate that comment. And thank you, Leroy. I appreciate that. It's a very well thought out question. Amanda Lamone says, it's too easy to claim mental illness in the U.S. It's not hard in South Korea to pay a doctor, say you have anything with enough money. In Korea, if you have enough money, then you can, then you can get anything. You pretty much won. Korea is a great society for pretty much getting, top end healthcare. If you want to do medical tourism, you want to go there and get something done, procedures done, it's a great place to go there and check out for those that are interested in maybe getting a surgery or, getting something, that they want to improve, not just cosmetic, but other things as well. So Korea has got a lot of benefits to Korea. Coffee and Paul for 5 says, you think that courts in the U.S. are going to stop the UFC weigh-in at the Lincoln Memorial or the fight on the South lawn of the White House? Oh man, that's a whole separate shenanigan. God, what is even going on? What is even going on? What is even going on over there, guys? I'm going to come back and break this up, right? Gosh, ridiculous. Adam Brandt says, have you seen the older leaflet video? Yes, where I'm fighting arcade. That's a really fun one. That's a fun one. A good little anime video. I like those. Those are cute. Dark Charlotte says, I remembered something regarding the Lego scandal. A police officer declared against the Fork Police Department. You should check it out. Oh, awesome. Let me check that out. Yeah, we're going to be going back to Bricks and Minifig stuff Now that we've seen this, I mean, essentially this now gets punted down to later this month, which is interesting. So we'll see that timing. It's very quick timing. But yeah, we'll be back on that. So anyways, I think that's what I got for today. I think I got everybody's messages here. But once again, we're having his arguments. He's coming up with arguments saying he's now showing remorse. Johnny Somali, in conclusion, is trying to say he's showing remorse. He's submitted more letters of reflection. He's asking for meds. A lot of this stuff is like trust. It's like at this point, you can't trust it at face value. You've got to verify it. The meds thing, get him the meds. But am I believing he's showing remorse? Not yet, especially when he's winking at people in the audience. If he's winking at people in the audience, if he's winking, Johnny Somali is confirmed to be winking at people in the audience, smiling and winking. So if he is smiling and winking openly in open court in front of God and everybody, he's smiling and winking. You really think he feels remorse? Are we really going to buy that? No, he doesn't remember. If he's smiling away and everybody sees, the reporters see it, everybody. Now, whether or not the reporters actually pick up on it, because the reporters oftentimes are not doing a good job, and the mainstream media reporters are really, they're doing an embarrassing job because they're picking up on, details that are tangential to understanding both his psychology and actually the procedure, right? So understanding the actual way it's going to go. So that's more of the stuff to me that's more, interesting with a lot of this. So guys, appreciate all of you checking in today. It's been great. And I do appreciate the coverage. It's been a long time covering this, and I appreciate all you joining me for this journey. And I will definitely be back for a stream very, very soon. And I appreciate all of you. By the way, Bricks and Minifig stuff, definitely come and check out that video. My latest video is a banger. Check that one out. Showro said to add on with BAM, Reckless Ben has been silenced by an email. You missed a lot. No, I did not. I saw that. That's covered in the silencing is part of the temporary injunction. Now, there's more details. I'm going to need to go into more details as to exactly what's going on there, but that's for future. There's future time for that, future videos, future lives, etc. There's a lot more content there. All right, guys, take care, stay based, and I will catch you all later. Peace.
You are coping the seething. You just can't believe what you're seeing. It's you coping the seething. The truth it is all day, and now you are more.